It's the state of X.
Well, hidey-ho, wrestling fanarinos, and welcome to the State of X podcast. This is the podcast where we talk all things social experiment wrestling, interview the wrestlers, talk with the crew, and maybe even a special guest down the road. I'm your host, Cody Tiano. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you love the show, and I really hope that you do, be sure to leave a comment down there letting me know that I'm doing a good job. I need the admiration and appreciation to help me get through my day. And of course, maybe leave a like on the video if you don't like leaving a comment. Subscribe to the channel to let yourself know when we're going to be dropping these. We're going to try to keep consistent with this, posting it on the second Friday of every month. But the best way to know that when we post that video, subscribe to the channel and get notified every time we upload something. And of course, if you want to check out a live show, check us out on all of our other socials, and of course on socialexperimentwrestling.com or Social Experiment Wrestling on all other social media platforms. If you want to check me out on the road, well, thank you very much for doing that. You can find me at Tiano Comedy on all platforms. That's Tiano Comedy. And of course, you can find me on all the live shows doing commentary on the matches. Be sure before or after the live show, come up to me, let me know that you're a fan of the podcast, and I will tell you that I love you more than all the others, but keep that a secret from everybody else. Now, without further ado, one last thing. We've got another show coming up very soon. Hopefully you are there to check it out. Be sure to check out on February 21st in Wacoma, Iowa. We've got our Milestone coming up. It is the biggest show because not only is it an anniversary show, but we are debuting our heavyweight championship belt. Definitely got to check that out. But all that aside, let's jump into the show. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Social Experiment Wrestling. My first guest of the podcast. Some would call him a villain, a ne'er-do-well, a downright scoundrel. Others might call him a confidant, a friend. I doubt that one. To me, the only thing that comes to mind is an old saying. Those who can't do, teach. Those who can't teach, coach gym. And those who aren't allowed within 200 yards of a school zone call themselves a wrestling manager. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. J.B. Grizzly. JB, thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, good to be here, Tiano.
Oh, you
Real
didn't?
nice intro.
You didn't like that? I thought
No,
it was
that's
quite
great.
clever.
Just seems like you really did your homework here. Really excited to be here, man.
Did I catch you at an interesting time? Are you in a bathrobe right now, or?
Yeah, actually, in case you didn't know, I'm a busy man. I've got a lot going on, and being the greatest wrestling manager in the history of ever comes with a lot of stress. And I'm at the spa. I'm about to go in for some treatments. I'm actually in the waiting room, which is really therapeutic. I'm really enjoying myself. This plush robe was supplied to me in my traditional color of black, matches my hat, looking real good as always. But let me just handle the stuff you missed, everybody. You're looking at JB Grizzly, the greatest wrestling manager in the history of ever. Do you know what ever means? It means all the time. You know what greatest means? It means the best. You're looking at the best. How old are you right now? That's how old you were when you peaked in life. The greatest moment you're ever having is meeting me right now. Oh, and Corey Tiano's here too.
It's Cody again, but you know.
That's what I said.
Sure.
He's go on.
All right. Well, we're coming in this a little adversarial. I'll take it. Granted, it was a little bit on my
You're right.
part.
Let's start over. You seem like a nice guy. We did some commentary together this last weekend. I think.
Yeah, we had.
You know what I want to get along. We got to work together. You know what I mean? I just a lot of stress. You know what I mean? A lot going on. So
absolutely, we had a good back and forth. Although I will say, there's just a little bit that's kind of irked me. More recently, it was, just after we had our commentary, you came out with, your partner,
inevitably superior Nick Stevens.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And things were going fine. He was going up against, friend of the show, Trevor the King Olsen, and you seem to have stepped in a couple of times and possibly thrown the match for Trevor. Gotten involved.
Whoa! First off,
I mean, I saw you up on the apron interfering with the ref, and
I was just telling the ref that I wanted to let him know he was doing such a great job. He seemed like he was having kind of a hard time. I saw him backstage. He kind of seemed like he was moping around. It seemed I'm the kind of guy that likes to build people up, you know what I mean, bring them to their full potential. And it seemed like a moment in the match where he needed somebody like me to give him guidance and just say, "Hey, you're doing a great job." And I think way off in the nosebleeds where they got you sitting with your microphone, I don't think you could really fully take in what's going on. I don't really appreciate the accusations, to be perfectly honest.
Well,
I
it's
thought we were going to be friends here.
I needed to get that off my chest. I mean, it didn't seem necessarily kind-hearted. It got to the point where Trevor seemed to hit you in the face. Now, I have not taken a punch myself from Trevor. He seems to be a very fit young man. Are you still are you still recovering from that hit?
Yeah, that's a big part of why I'm at the spa, Cody.
Okay.
Trevor's a goof for starters. I had no intentions to get in anybody's way. I was just out there for moral support for my client, and he decided it was a good idea for him to put his hands on me, which nobody puts their hands on JB Grizzly. That's the first mistake that he made. I've got a lot going on. The last thing I need to do is be worrying about getting my jaw or my shoulder or my collarbone readjusted at one of my multi-million-dollar establishments that I go to for chiropractors and different treatments. And, I got a lot going on. I got things to figure out. I got matches to plan. And this guy just thinks he can just, in a place like Sumner, Iowa, of all places. You know how long I was in the ER in Sumner, Iowa? Do you have any idea the quality of medical care you get in that rural of a town in Iowa?
I'd imagine it's a bit of a, they just sort of spit on it and wrap it up with a towel and say, "Get out there, pussy."
Yeah, it was at the hardware store, the same place we got the bungee cords to put the ring together. Same guy.
I think
Does
it's
it
more
all.
than bungee cords. It's a very well put together ring that they have there with Social X.
I
We
would
spare
know.
no expense with that.
I wouldn't know anything about that. I don't do that stuff.
Well, I just wanted to get that off of my chest. It seemed very adversarial, but I still wanted to check and make sure that you were okay because you don't seem like the kind of guy that could take a punch. So I just wanted to check in with you, make sure you're doing okay.
It's gonna get weird between us here, Corky. I don't understand the. I don't appreciate the aggression that's coming through here.
There's no aggression. We are two comrades just having a conversation, a little fun back and forth. As I said in the first podcast, this is just a hangout, friends throw
Okay.
jabs back and forth.
You're right. We should. You're right. For the third time, we should probably just cool down, start over. Actually, you know what? If can you pause the camera for just a second? Did you pause it?
I
Is it paused?
Yeah, totally.
You know what? You ever talk to me like that again, I swear to God, I'll end you. The first night will be your last night. Don't pull this crap with me. We're gonna go back. I'm gonna answer your little questions, but I swear to God, you do it again, we're gonna have serious problems. Okay, go ahead and turn the camera back on.
All right, we
Anyways,
are
yeah, no, Corey, no, I'm happy to be here, man. Let me answer your questions. Let's get down to it. Let's have a good
absolutely.
time.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's
Yeah,
get down. Let's start from the beginning, okay?
sure,
Let
sure, sure.
let's absolutely. So, you debuted originally as a fan of Social X, and then you were kicked out by the commissioner, the former commissioner, Zeke, and then you returned for the second ever Social X show, making your other big return. Now, is that the only time you refused to take no for an answer?
Huh. Hi, see you've done your homework here, Cody. Good to know. It's good to know that I'm not wasting my time here. Yeah, that's true. I started out as a fan. I'm still a fan. You know what I mean? Some people might disagree with some of the things I say and do, but everything that I do is to help social experiment wrestling. I'm still a fan of social experiment wrestling. I just realized that I don't have anything in common with the rest of the fans. I realized that I'm a lot smarter, a lot better looking, a lot more clever, a lot more wealthy, and there's just not a lot to talk about. You know what I mean? So, yeah, no, basically what happened is I ran my mouth because the original commissioner Zeke was abusing his power and they booted me out. And luckily, I know some guys. I was able to come back in the main event with Bruce Hamilton, who's an awesome wrestler that is currently getting WWE looks right now. He was part of the first Social X show. And it ended with Zeke getting a wedgie. And I'd ask you to ask him how he's feeling these days, but you'd be hard pressed to find him at Social X. So, that being said, after that, I just realized that the energy of Social X is so awesome and just everything that's going on there. I knew I had to be a part of it. And I knew that it needed me as much as I wanted to be a part of it. So, you know what I mean? I've been a pillar of social experiment wrestling since day one.
Do you say Zeke ended up getting a wedgie
Yeah,
at the
that's
end?
what I said. Yes, sir. Yep.
Were you the one that implemented the wedgie, or was this another wrestler.
Absolutely not. Even before I was managing, I pay guys to do those kinds of things. I just was again there for moral support. I was happy to be close by, in case anybody needed me. But no, it definitely happened.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so you were just, even before you became a manager, you were also interfering in the wrestling just as a fan.
Well, here we go. All
Yeah,
right, listen.
I'm just trying to clarify. I'm just trying to clarify. As
I do
as
what
a
needs to be
broadcaster,
done.
I need to tell the truth.
I do what needs to be done, Colby.
It's Cody.
That's what I said.
So after you came back at the second Social X show, you ended up joining on in the crew as you worked as a backstage correspondent. Now, was that another fake title like wrestling manager, or did you actually have like some things that you did?
Yeah, no, I've been getting paid since the beginning, man. Yeah, basically what I did, I don't know, you familiar with Mean Gene Okerlund? I was like the Mean Gene for a little while. And basically what I would do is I would hang out in the back and wrestlers would come back from their matches. I would interview them, ask them how things went. And really, I just got a lot of disrespect. And that was another big part
Can't
of what made
imagine
me
why.
realize, yeah, yeah, well, all right. All right. Like I said, we got to go to work together in another week here, Cody.
I'm
I feel
familiar.
like, wait, hold on. There's somebody. Hold on. How you
Oh,
doing?
is are you,
Oh,
do I need to pause the video again, or
no, you don't. It's just the worker. You don't have to call me Mr. Grizzly. It's totally fine. He has to call me Mr. Grizzly. You can call me the greatest wrestling manager in the history of ever. I'm just checking out this menu here.
oh, that certainly well put together
Take,
documents that they have.
yeah, I'll take 2 3s and 11. And
Do they have happy endings on that menu?
yeah, those are the only ones I care about, Cody. Yeah, no, thank you. Appreciate you. Anyway, so sorry to interrupt. No, I only
No,
have so much time. You know what I mean? I
no,
gotta.
that's totally. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule of lounging around to come onto this podcast and answer some questions. So let's get back to talking about you. I'm honestly curious, like, and this is a genuine question because, as I said previously, I am a fan of wrestling. I sort of fell off a little bit after the Attitude Era, but like the details of wrestling are very interesting to me, and the title of wrestling manager. Now, I'm not exactly sure what you do. Like, I know you walk, excuse me, you walk out with the wrestlers, but what is it that a manager does exactly?
Well, you know what a wrestler does, right? You understand that part of it.
Yeah, I'm
You
familiar.
figured that out. Okay, well,
Yeah.
yeah, everything short of getting in that ring and doing damage to an opponent, I handle. We're talking about making sure the wrestler has everything they need. We're talking about travel arrangements. We're talking about where they're staying. We're talking about the best meals, the best accommodations. We're talking about making sure that the people that I take care of are taken care of. Is it the reason that you see my clients at their very best? The reason that JB Grizzly doesn't lose matches? Look at my track record every single time. We're talking win, 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 win. We're into season 2. It's because they're taken care of. All of the other stuff they don't have to worry about. And all they have to do is give me a fairly reasonable chunk of their paycheck. And I think it's worth it. And they all seem to as well.
Now, what would you consider a fairly reasonable chunk? Are you allowed to say that? Am I allowed to prod any more information out of you?
Oh, Cody. No, we won't be talking about numbers this evening. Just know that it's more than I'm getting paid for this, whatever this is tonight, Social X. They did not let me know that this was part of my salary, but apparently here we are. You know what I mean? Obligations.
I don't know who talked to you, but I'm certainly not paying you for this, but I still appreciate your time. Now, so let's get back to more about, your origin story. How did you go from just being a backstage correspondent to an actual manager? What was the process of making that jump? Was it just somebody walked up to you and said, "I want you to represent me"? I can't imagine somebody walked to you while you were holding a broom and thought, "This guy's going to get me where I need to be."
Yeah, well, no, it's that's the thing. Once I had my foot in the door, that's all I needed. You know what I mean? I was in day one, and I'm always watching. If you pay attention to my social media or any of the things that I say for Social X, that's one thing I'm always saying is that I'm always watching everything that goes on in social experiment wrestling, and I know the people to talk to. I know the brass. I know the people in charge. And I know who to impress. You know what I mean? So from the get go, any opportunity that was given to me, I did to my absolute best. And anytime I saw another opportunity, I jumped right in there. And there's a young man by the name of Iori St. Clair that was coming into Social X, working a wrestling match, a triple threat. against two guys. Odds were against him. And I approached him backstage and I said, you know what? I said, you looks like you could use a little help. And we had a nice talk. And that was my first match. Was in Reedland, Iowa as a manager. And I think we all know how that chapter ends as well. Another win for JB Grizzly.
Did you actually get in the ring, or you still let it be a 2v1?
Oh, well, here's what happened. Here's the problem. And you can actually see this match on Social XX tapes. It's on YouTube right now. And here's what happened is I tried my best to use my brand of help to help Iori win the match, even the odds a little bit. And all he did was complain. All he did was say, "Oh, we do things by the book. I'm a good guy. I like to make sure that everybody likes me, and I want to win fairly." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And this whole time I'm watching him, I'm watching the guy he's wrestling, Maurice, who's an absolute powerhouse and an absolute future champion in social experiment wrestling. And I thought to myself, this is the kind of person that I need to be behind. This is the kind of person that doesn't care what anybody thinks, that isn't worried about doing the right thing. He's only worried about breaking necks and cashing checks. So after I helped Iori get the win, because that's what I was hired to do, I went ahead and gave him a good one right to the grapes, let Maurice do his thing, and flip sides, as you'd say. And
So in the same show that you decided that you were going to help him and came to him saying that you were giving him the extra bump that he needed to win this 2v1, then you decided in that same match that you were immediately going to turn on him?
yeah, no, as soon as I helped him and he refused to appreciate my help, it didn't take long to realize that I obviously anchored myself to the wrong boat. You know what I mean? I move fast. Things move fast in social experiment wrestling. You got to stay with it or you're going to get run over. And I knew right away, it's like, I'm not the kind of guy that makes a mistake twice, if that makes sense to you. And I realized halfway through that match, this ain't it. This ain't where I want to be. And I've never made a better decision in my entire life. Things have been going quite well for me ever since.
So are you still managing Maurice? Because you came out with Nick Stevens at the last show, and you seem to be managing him. Do you manage multiple people at a time, or is it you're a one man kind of guy,
Corky, let me ask you a question.
Cody?
Did you, that's what I said. Did you see Maurice at the Social X Ice Cream Social this last weekend?
Well, he didn't have a match, so I didn't.
No. So how would I manage him if he doesn't have a match? Of course, I manage multiple people. You think this kind of talent can be held down to just one superstar? Are you kidding me right now? I have so much to give.
I mean, I would imagine that's what you're trying to offer up to the people there at that spa, which I don't hear any music. Is it weird that I'm not hearing any music? Is it just that quiet there? I would think I'd hear some sort of like Enya or something like that.
They had some stuff going. I asked for some Scorpions, but I told them, I had a bigger interview. I was trying to show you a little bit of respect. Obviously, the kind of thing you don't seem to be showing me. And I asked them
I'm
to turn.
showing you the utmost respect. As a broadcaster, I'm still making sure that the people know you, know JB Grizzly, who exactly they're looking at when they look at this podcast, and what kind of man that they're going to see each and every time they go to a Social X show. So that's what I'm trying to get down to the nitty gritty and do. And with that, like, you are a manager, you are a wrestling manager, but I feel like someone with the amount of, what's the word I'm looking for? Ego, is looking for more. Is this something I heard at one point? And again, this was before my time, so my sources might be a little bit sketchy. I believe this source came from a fan of Social X, which is odd. He occasionally, when I look at you, it kind of reminds me of, it's a comedian friend of mine, but he has far more charisma, so I wouldn't mistake you guys anyway. But
Can't
he,
imagine there's anybody out there that knows you that looks as good as I do. I can't. That doesn't seem like that would be a thing, but
but
sure.
that being said, he gave me a little snippet of info. At one point, you tried to become commissioner. Is that correct?
I didn't try to become commissioner. I was asked to become commissioner. Basically, what happened is that Neon Weasel Magnum Matt Miller, who I understand you met, real charming dude, right?
Yeah, we had a
Yeah,
great back and
yeah.
forth at commentary after you
I
stepped
saw him.
away.
I saw him sitting over there when I was at ringside. I'm sure. I can't wait to hear the ridiculous stuff that came out of his mouth. But when Zeke left, we needed a new commissioner, and obviously the top two choices were me or Magnum Matt Miller. And we had a show called Money Moves at Diamond Joe Casino in Northwood, Iowa. And I was representing Maurice, and Magnum Matt Miller was representing Ryan Slade. Winner becomes commissioner, and it is the only match in the history of my career that's technically in the books as a loss because Miller is a dirty, sneaky cheat. He busted out some brass knuckles, bunch of crazy stuff went down. End of the day, Maurice took the L, I took the L. Magnum was commissioner, and he sucked at it. Everybody saw how bad he sucked at it. He ran the place into the ground for a very short amount of time. The people that are really in charge of Social X found some new dork. I don't even know what his deal is, but Magnum's back to managing nobodies, I guess. I don't know.
I think Matt Douglas is doing a fine job. He even stepped in after that incident between you and Trevor Olson after Nick swooped in and stole the win.
Is that him? That's the new commissioner, that kid that got in my face?
Yeah, the guy. I mean, you weren't necessarily staring eye to eye with him, but yeah,
No,
the
of course
guy.
not. Wasn't 3'7".
But yeah, that was our new commissioner, Matthew
Like
Douglas.
looked like Patton Oswalt in the Village of the Ewoks. I don't know what to make of him. I don't care for him. I gotta be honest. First night, don't really care for him.
Well,
Thought I didn't like you, but then I met him, and you seemed a lot more charming,
I
by
appreciate
comparison.
that,
Yeah.
but he did something that his claim. I mean, I can't imagine how you're feeling. He commissioned a new match between Nick Stevens and Trevor Olson, but he's banned you from even showing up to the match. Now, is that something that, I mean, as we've stated previously, you've ignored commissioners in the past with showing up to the second event of Social X after already being banned by Commissioner Zeke. Now, Commissioner Matt is banning you from this match. Are you at all planning on listening to him?
I always listen. I'm a rule follower, Cody.
I think we've clearly stated you are not one of those,
I
but
was,
continue.
and again, you can state things all day. That doesn't make it true. I'm stand up dude. You'll find that the more you get to know me, you'll find just how much you can trust me. You know what I mean? This face, trust. That's the first thing people think of. But that being said, I was told very specifically that I will not be allowed at ringside for the match. And due to those rulings, I will not be at ringside for that match. That's really all I got to say about that.
Is there any way I can get some more, like, what's the, you're not going to be ringside? Are you planning something? Can I get an exclusive here?
Oh, I will be at the show. You will be seeing JB Grizzly at Milestone. I can promise you that.
Okay.
But I will not, for that match, as asked by me by the new Dorky commissioner, be at ringside, which is the area between the front row and the ring, if I'm not mistaken, is where they don't want me. So
Yeah, I would
go
consider that
ahead.
ringside.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and not be there. That's fine. We can do that.
Now, Milestone is obviously a very important thing, and it's also the debut of the heavyweight championship of the actual belt itself.
Exciting stuff.
Now, is that something that you know, one of your wrestlers has kind of got his eye on? Because right now, we've got Humek that is now the number one contender for that belt. But I mean,
What a scary dude. Uh,
very.
you know, that guy seems like he's got it figured out. Right up until I see him come out to the ring with Magnum Matt Miller. I don't know what Miller did or how much he paid him to let Magnum Matt Miller be the barnacle on the side of his boat. But yeah, apparently they're working together, and he doesn't need help. Humek doesn't need any help, but I can only imagine what those two are going to do together. But I don't personally like the idea of Matt Miller being one match away from managing the new world heavyweight champion. I don't care for that at all, personally. But no, I'd be a fool not to be paying attention. Our Red X champion should be coming back from injury before too terribly long, which is very exciting. I know that there'll be some tag champs crowned
Yeah.
in the near or distant future, and that's what I want. That's what I want in Social X is I want to manage champions because champions make more money, and when champions that I manage make more money, I make more money. So, of course, that's what we're after. That's the ultimate goal is to fill a stable up full of gold and cash checks and keep coming to high-end spas and I guess having conversations with you at your in your what you got hanging on the wall back there? What's going on?
I got a few things on the wall there. I've got I've got some comic books up over here. I've got my on-air sign just to, you know, I'm a bit of a radio fan and a broadcaster at heart. I've got,
Uh,
some old Bionicles from the 90s and some Pokemon, those little cards that they gave out at Burger King, those gold cards. I've got a full set of all of those. It was stated, when I had my conversation with Hot Rod Daddy Andy, that I'm quite a bit of a nerd. So I've got a few knickknacks here and there. I've even got a little arcade cabinet behind me.
what a maniac that guy is, right?
He is charisma personified almost.
I watched your first episode because, like I said, I'm always paying attention to what's
Well,
going
I
on.
appreciate the view.
I'm a student of the game, and yeah, I know that guy is.
I noticed you didn't leave a like, but it's fine.
I don't. Yeah, I didn't say anything. I said I watched it. I said I watched it.
Okay, well, I still appreciate the view.
Yeah, sure. But no, that's Hot Rod Daddy Andy. I got my eye on that guy too. What a spark plug.
Oh, I wasn't even expecting any high flying action from him. He was certainly a brawler, but he got up there a couple of times, and un
Oh yeah,
unfortunately,
and it's
Humek walked away with the title, but he still put his all in.
watching Hot Rod Daddy Andy wrestle was like the physical manifestation of the interview you guys had. It was like the same amount of energy, the same amount of craziness, the same amount of unexpectedness. And I just remember watching that interview and thinking, like, man, when the people in charge of Social X get this, they're going to be like, what are these guys even talking about right now? It's like, but no, I enjoyed it personally.
Well, I'm glad. Now, did any of that resonate with you? Are you, a fan of, comic books or like classic movies, like 80s action movies? Or I would assume you're a fan of snack cakes, given a man of your stature. But, other than that,
Yeah, you get those three things together for a guy like JB, and that's a pretty good weekend, really. You know what I mean? I, uh, I always had trouble with comic books because I never knew which square
reading can be difficult. That's all
to
right.
read first. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm trying to get cool with you here, Coley. Coley, that's your name, Coley.
Cody,
Okay, with a D, with a T, Cody with a T or a D.
a D.
Okay, yeah.
D like
And
dog.
I'm trying really hard to pretend to be your friend here, bud.
I appreciate that.
Sure. But no, the squares, they're always all over the damn place. I'm like, which one do I read first? So I got into graphic novels, actually, which I
Oh,
think
those
is
are good.
kind of the poor man's, comic book where big pictures and stuff like that. I was more of a visual learner as a kid. You know what I mean? Really like those pop-up books, stuff like that. So I found my
Oh,
lane, but no, I definitely enjoy it.
okay, good. Yeah. And now, what would you say, like, what's some of your fondest memories of, like, some old, was it action movies you were a fan of, rom-coms, comedies? What is JB Grizzly like?
Yeah, well, I grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, so early on, like I remember like one of the first movies I ever saw was Tom Hanks's Big.
Okay.
And that was crazy to me because I was like, why would you want to grow up that fast? And then I realized that like the way that movie ends is kind of crazy because he just turns back into a 13-year-old after having like a full-grown girlfriend and like she has to like live with that after the fact. And I feel like a lot of these 80s movies really weren't given the ending that we needed, but we weren't questioning it, you know what I mean? Like that. But
Yeah, a lot of those 80s movies definitely kind of gave you the wrong type of vibe. Like, I mean, dare I even bring up the Revenge of the Nerds?
a lot going on. A lot going on. But what stuck out to me was dude had a Pepsi machine and that piano you could step on the floor
Oh
and
yeah.
like, all this stuff in his room. And I'm just like, man, that's how it's going to be when we grow up. That's going to be so cool. And then we grew up and it's not like that,
Well, I
turns
mean,
out.
I've got a few things here and there that kind of I mean, I don't have a stepping piano, but I mean, I've got some pretty cool things around here.
Maybe I'll have to stop by sometime, check it all out.
Yeah, gladly, and I'll teach you how to read a comic book, maybe.
Yeah, all right. And I'll teach you how to treat somebody with respect. We'll help each other out. It'll be
I'm
great.
always a gracious host.
Yeah, sure.
All right, well, we've got a little bit more time, but just before we take off, like, where can someone find you on social media? Like, where are they gonna look? Like, do you have? I mean, I would assume you said 80s and 90s, so someone of your age probably has a Facebook. But
Yeah, that's where I do most of my hanging out is on Facebook. I just started Facebook not too terribly long ago. Like I said, I got guys that usually handle all this stuff, but I realized, like I want to be able to say what I want to say in the exact moment I say it to the social X universe, if
so
you
it's you
will.
on there. You don't have a social media manager.
No, not no. That's the one thing I do. That I don't have guys for is that. But I am I think I know. I think I earlier you were talking about your comedian friend, and I'm a real big fan of stand up comedy. I've actually you're a stand up comedian, correct? I've done my homework as well. I
Yeah, I've been.
been touring all over the country for quite some time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I've been known to pop in here and there at a few places.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same guy you were talking about, but I'm a pretty big fan of a dude from Iowa named Justin Paulson. You familiar?
That is a good friend of mine.
Yeah. He's a funny dude. And he's really good about plugging my stuff too. He's my favorite comedian, but I'm pretty sure I'm also his favorite wrestling personality, which is weird because I'm not usually very nice to the guy. And
Everybody
he
has their
seems he
flaws.
seems he seems a lot nicer of a dude than I am. He seems to have a lot more patience for people than I do. But
He's probably stoned most of the
definitely
time.
follow him. He's on Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff, and he's always plugging his own stuff as well as mine. So I mean, but I'm on Facebook too, JB Grizzly. Anytime there's anything going on with Social X, I'm usually plugging some stuff on there. But I'm working on it. You know what I mean? Like I said, I got a lot going on. I got so many clients and so much going on that you know
Is
really
there
hard to
anyone
find.
specific you're kind of keeping your eye on that maybe can expect GB Grizzly popping in, backstage and having a conversation with him? Who's like your top wrestlers that you've got your eye on right now?
Well, that's the thing is every show we've got such a crazy lineup. You know what I mean? It's always changing. There's familiar faces and there's guys that come in and leave and a lot of different stuff going on. But um, I've been watching wrestling for a very long time, long before I was ever involved with Social X. And there's guys like Ryan Slade, for example, who, another dude who has all the talent in the world and a track record of an absolute legend in professional wrestling, but still somehow seems to kind of care what people think. There's obviously you're paying attention to the heavyweight championship scene. We've got Ethan Everhart versus Humek in less than 2 weeks, and the winner's walking away as the first ever social experiment wrestling heavyweight champion. That's a big deal. That's an accolade that no one else is ever going to be able to have. Of course, a guy like me would love to be in the corner of someone that has that kind of resume. Um, a guy like Magnum Matt Miller, I don't see him managing a guy like Humek much longer than he was commissioner. You know what I mean? He doesn't seem like the kind of guy people like to keep around for a real long time. Gets on your nerves pretty quick,
Well, I
as
would
you could
imagine
tell by
he's
the.
sort of the translator for Humek. I don't think I've ever even heard
Oh, you think
Humek
that dude?
speak.
You think that dude speaks Aztec? You think Matt Miller's? You think he got on old Duolingo and learned himself some old ancient Aztec? Because I'm pretty sure that's the only language that Humek knows.
Have you heard him speak? I haven't actually heard
I've heard a
Humek
series
speak.
of grunts and noises and evil stares from dark corners of the locker room, but I'm a smart guy. I stay as far. I don't even know how those two got hooked up. I don't even know how they were able to. You know what I mean? He must have just thrown a bag of money at Humek and just been like, please don't eat me. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see how that all plays out. But
Does
obviously,
Humek expect does Humek accept American currency? I thought just mainly gold coins if he's
yeah, I don't know what the balloon to U.S. dollar uh, crossover is on that. I'm not real. I haven't done a lot of travel into the Aztec jungles recently, but
we
I
seem to have a
imagine
lot of
it's.
characters here at Social X. Like
Oh,
we've got Humek, and a descendant of Aztec warriors, and then last night we saw a mental patient from, and that's not me calling him names. He's
no,
legitimately from an insane asylum.
Chucky
up,
Bates. They were waiting to pick him up after the match. I said they had the paddy wagon outside the padded.
yeah, and he was going up against a man known as the Yeti. That,
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeti Henderson. It's got
yeah,
a last name.
yeah, and he just walked in the ring with 2 sticks in hand, which
Yep, I believe. I'm
great
not
match,
100%.
but
Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure Yeti Henderson is third cousins to Harry from Harry and the Hendersons,
oh, of the Hendersons,
which is another great '80s movie. You know what I mean?
that's true.
Just distant relatives. I don't think they go like vacation together or do Thanksgiving or anything. But I think 23 and Me. I think they
Bless you.
figured it out. But yeah, that's you got a
Hmm.
dog or something?
Oh yeah, my well, now he took off. Of course,
That's fine.
right
That's
when
fine.
he's gonna be on camera, he took off. But yeah, I've got a couple of dogs that like to lounge off to the side there.
Everybody's always leaving you when it matters, Cody. I get it. I don't.
Story of my life. I talk about it in my stand-up that you should really check out sometime. It might be in your wheelhouse.
Well, I'm always on the road, traveling to shows and stuff. I always like a good laugh. I might have to do that.
Yeah, I might
I,
invite you out to a couple of shows. Get you
yeah,
some
it'd be
free
all right.
tickets.
Sure. I enjoy that kind of thing.
Well, good. All right. Well, like I said, we've got just a couple more minutes, but yeah, I just want to thank you for your time, JB. I know, as you've said, you are a very important, very busy man, but I still appreciate the time taken out of your busy schedule to have a chit chat with me.
Yeah, I'm about to go get a deep tissue massage on this jaw that Trevor the King Olsen knocked out of place last weekend. But to finish answering that last question you asked,
Oh yeah, by all means.
expect JB Grizzly to, I wouldn't say assemble a team, but expect JB Grizzly to understand how important teamwork is, and expect JB Grizzly to move accordingly in a way that is going to allow him to accomplish the things he wants to do. So yes, I'm currently managing Nick Stevens. Maybe I'm still managing Maurice. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I've already been in talks with other wrestlers. Uh, Only time will tell. And the only way to find out is to show up at Social X shows. That's the only way to know what I'm going to be up to and what we're all going to be up to. But I can promise you one thing. It's going to be a historic year. We've got a lot of plans. And I plan on keeping on winning and keep on cashing checks.
And we've, of course, got to check you out next week when it comes to finding out what exactly you mean by not being ringside, but you're still going to be on site. So
Yeah, no,
we,
I will. I will follow all decrees and rules placed down to me by our new sweater-wearing manager. Uh, I will not be at ringside during the match between Nick Stevens and Trevor Olsen. I will. I will abide by the rules. Scout's honor.
well, you seem to be a man of your word, and I appreciate a man and your time. So, JB, thank you so much for sitting down with me. I think that is all the questions and all the time that I have for you today. I will let you get back to whatever shady back room, back massage parlor that you're in that doesn't even play Enya. But, I will let
The
you
pleasure is all yours, my friend. It's been a true experience.
self-care is self-care, and I will let you get back to that. So, JB, thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule. And yeah, have a good night, man.
We'll see you soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next guy that I have here on the Social X podcast basically needs no introduction. This man is a veteran of the field, but he is always welcome here in Social X. He's been around. You've probably seen his face. You definitely know his name. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Ryan Slade. Ryan, thank you so much for jumping on the podcast with me.
Oh, no, thanks for having me. I was looking forward to it. So, yeah, I'm
God,
excited.
every wrestler that I interview has a glorious mustache, and I am always so damn jealous.
Mine wasn't exactly planned. It was accidental, for if you can believe it. So,
The
but
wife just kind of
when I
convinced
start,
you.
like, no, actually, my so my oldest son in kindergarten was getting picked on for having hair on his lip. So I said, well, only, like, I don't remember specifics, big, strong, cool people, something like that, like have, mustaches, whatever. So then I inadvertently had to grow a mustache, and I've had that since then.
Your genetics
So
are
I'm just,
so strong, your son was having mustache hair in kindergarten?
well, just peach fuzz, but I mean, I guess, if you catch it in the right light, yeah,
Dude, I'm
he'll,
32 and I barely grow anything. Goddamn. It's
well,
come. That's that is awesome. I wish I had that sort of genetics. There's supposed to be a mustache here. You can't even tell with how faint it is up here, and I've got the chin fuzz, but having mustache hair at kindergarten, that's got to be the coolest kid in school.
I know, you know what, yeah, I think so. I think it's just a matter once these kids wise up and catch, figure it out. I think so.
Well, especially when they find out that dad is Ryan Slade, there's no way they could pick on him. Now,
Oh gosh, yeah. Is he not that long ago was asking me about like, hey dad, I want to do wrestling, you know, in school or school, stuff like that. And I said,
right.
well, bud, you might be a little disappointed, but we can definitely look into that. So,
Oh, does he think that the wrestling in school is the same thing that dad does?
well, I explained it to him, but like he really didn't get it until I pulled out, some wrestling meets, things like that. And he was like, oh, so.
And then did he lose interest or is he still kind of picking up on it?
A little bit, but I still think he wants to do it. So we'll see. I mean, I think it'll be good for him anyway. So
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you've got to get your start somewhere. You got to learn the basics of it before you jump into, bouncing off ropes and going off turnbuckles.
yeah, it's funny. Um, this would have been before we had the second one. There's a video of him in the ring running the ropes, like not. He must have just been around for enough, training and in ring stuff that figured it out because like I never showed it to him.
Right.
So, but it was yeah,
Just
it
comes
was pretty
naturally,
cute.
just like a mustache.
Yeah, I guess so. It's just genetically there.
So then what about you? Did you start out doing like actual wrestling on a mat or did you immediately jump into professional wrestling?
Well, I wish I would have had an athletic background. Had I known that I would have fallen into this and been doing this as long as I did, I probably would have, tried to do some more prep work. But no, I was a scrawny little art kid in high school. I think it was like 100, 135, 140 pounds when I graduated high school, and then started doing this. And yeah, yeah. Went actually. So we went. Me and a buddy went to a local show, and they just like, hey, we're doing this training, blah 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 blah, and we were like, what the hell, whatever. But actually, been doing it ever since. So it was just like that one indie show that got me and stuck with it. So,
Nice. Do you remember was there a certain wrestler that kind of took you under his wing and showed you, for lack of a better term, showed you the ropes?
kind of, yeah. So I was trained by Brian Ash,
Okay.
who's trained kind of down in the Kansas City area, through the um, Harley Race school that was down there. So he came through there, and I trained under him. And then there was, obviously guys that helped me out along the way, doing my thing. One big one that really gave me an opportunity to start doing stuff and give me opportunities to learn and make mistakes. Which is the best way to I feel the best way to learn is just screw something up, but which I'll say I've learned a lot.
Best
So
teacher is trial and error.
yeah, so yeah, and that was a guy, Tony Scarpone, out of like the Chicago area. So
Okay.
he gave me a lot of opportunities early on, to kind of figure things out and improve. And yeah, so I definitely wouldn't. I would say those two probably would be the two big ones as far as influencing and mentoring and getting me where I'm at now. So
Okay. Well, so your main like wrestling career kind of got started here in America. Like I again, I'm new to Social X. So this is the first time I'm hearing your name, but like
so
I hear you're from Canada. Is that
yeah, so
okay? I was
so
worried I
the
got my
first
source wrong.
No. It's been some time. So first show, I was living in the Des Moines area. I don't remember exactly where at the time, but went to a little show at the $1 Fitness, I think it was, which is a gym that had a ring set up. It tanked shortly thereafter. So I mean,
I'd imagine
you
$1
know,
gym doesn't have enough to pay the bills.
well, they had like a gimmick, like you just paid, like you had your basic membership or whatever, and any day that you come in, you just pay $1. So like it was
Oh,
kind of a gimmick. I'm not, but again, I don't really remember specifics. But yeah, did that for a company called 3X Wrestling, and they're starting their first training school. There are a couple guys that have been training for a little bit, and then me and my buddy jumped on and been doing that. Yeah, and just kind of went with it. So
nice. Okay. So, have you been able to like actually travel around with doing wrestling, or did you always kind of stick local? And
yeah, well,
I mean, obviously you're
kind of
working
very.
with
I've done.
Social
I
Ed,
mean,
so
a lot of it's been in the Midwest. Midwest. I live in Ankeny, Iowa now. Uh, so I've kind of I've always I've stayed in the area, as an adult. But no, I've wrestled up in Canada. I've wrestled on the East Coast a little bit. So going to Ohio here this weekend.
nice. Okay.
So, but a lot of Midwest stuff primarily. But I have done Canada and the East Coast. So,
Okay. Have you ever been able to go back home? To like, where's home originally up in Canada?
so I hail from Thunder Bay, so it's just kind of over the border. So it's not super far. So
God,
it's
even where
easy.
you're from sounds cool. So, were you
So
able to get any shows up in Thunder Bay and kind of
I have not.
commit? You
So
haven't?
I
Haven't
can't
had
say
your
it's not on
hometown
the
hero
bucket
moment?
list, but I'm not trying super hard anymore. So, well, I kind of slowed down after I had a second kid. Things got a little harder to manage and juggle, and I wasn't really getting support from my wife at the time. So, uh, things were, kind of managing two kiddos and trying to do it was difficult. But now they're a little bit older. A few years ago, I started really trying to get back into the swing of things. So I just want them, really, honestly, I want them to have an experience and have memories of seeing me do it, and tell stories about dad being an idiot or whatnot, or being amazing. I mean, I don't know which way it's going to go. So
You're telling
one
me
of those
mom's
two.
not a fan of you backflipping off the top rope when you got kids to come
Well,
home to?
it's one of those where like she thought it was awesome at the time,
Oh, of
when we met,
course.
but like it become a lot less support kind of dwindled and fizzled out. So
Yeah, once she starts, healing up the bruises and bandaging you up, it gets a little tedious at times, I would imagine.
yeah, oh yeah, she was never really much for that. So
She didn't want to play nurse or anything like that. You couldn't convince her.
no, I don't think she really ever did.
Ah, you know, I would say the same for my wife. Mine's more the one that gives me bruises. Not to, I mean, thankfully she doesn't listen to this, and I think she's gone right now. But I'm lucky enough I married a Puerto Rican woman, so I don't have to dodge clotheslines, just chanclas.
Oh well, so if she was, well, I mean she still is, but from Mexico originally. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay. So
not, I mean, yeah,
we both have the
similar,
same
yeah.
the flair for the Latin
Yes,
women.
I'd say I've since gotten away and avoided of anything being thrown at me anymore. So
You're still a man of good taste, and I appreciate that. All right. Well, I want to get back to more of the origin, the antithesis of Ryan Slade, and it's mainly because before that and during this conversation, you said you were an artsy kid. So was it sort of like you were more like drawing and painting, or were you like a theater kid?
more drawing and painting. But even then, those were like popular art stuff. So like even because I was super antisocial, um, for
You're
whatever
talking
reason, I
to
don't
a
know.
guy
But
sitting in a dark room right now, so you're among good
perfect.
friends.
So I ended up doing a lot of stuff in like sculpture and ceramics. Not that I didn't do a lot with like the drawing and painting and things like that, but I spent most of my time with like sculpture and ceramics, things like that. It was less popular in the school, so like, I mean, I don't know if that's the reason I did it or if just the whatever it was about it. But yeah, so I spent a lot of time doing that. So actually, recently I just kind of started fiddling around and drawing stuff again, which I hadn't done in 2 decades. So
Do you have a
it's been
specific thing that you like to draw? Like, you comic fan, or like you got little
um,
characters, or
usually it's just yeah, different imitating comic characters or cartoon characters or anime or whatever it is. So
okay, nice.
just having fun with that. So
Do you lean more towards Marvel or DC?
it just kind of depends. Um, Growing up as a kid, it was big into like the X-Men era. So like I mean, there was a lot there for that. When Jim Lee was doing the art, in the '90s, and then the cartoon came out and all that. So, but like I mean, obviously, I was still a Batman fan, Superman fan. I was a big Flash fan. Um, but so it really just I can't. I have a hard time really saying I prefer this to the other because there's good things everywhere.
That's fair. I mean,
Um,
while I have a full Batman sleeve, but there's still Marvel comics around here. I've even got the old Amalgam comics where they merge together,
no
and
kidding.
yeah,
Dark Claw and all that.
I've got almost all of them kind of hanging up on my wall right now. I do have the full 3 issues of where they were together, but even the fusions. Yeah, I managed to find
That's
those in a
awesome.
little comic shop when I was out on the road.
That's cool.
You still
That's
have
super cool.
Do you got a little collection of comic books, or were you a collector of any of the things, or just
I have some, not anything super cool. Like I have like a lot of the '90s X-Men stuff. Some Batman. I have a good chunk of Flash stuff. Um, Actually, I used to have. I sold it on eBay, but the first X amount of comics for like The Walking Dead when that launched,
oh,
so they weren't in mint condition, so it wasn't anything amazing, but it was still, it was still pretty cool to have that and be able to sell it. So I could finally say something I hung on to did increase in value.
hey, that's
So
something.
yeah.
Nice. Okay. You ever, get that itch and find yourself in a little comic shop, or maybe a flea market here and there, and going, I could grab some of these and maybe teach the kids the Flash and all of that, get them into it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, anytime I'm in there, it's impossible not to browse and look a little bit, But like I try to like I'm gonna get myself in trouble. But my youngest, he likes the Flash quite a bit. And he likes Sonic, so I think he's really just on a speedster's kick
That's fair.
right now. So, yeah. So, I'll push track on him. I don't know. We'll see.
Start getting him to read some of these just to ease him into it. I think they make Sonic comics as well. My oldest,
They do.
who's 11, yeah, she's mainly the Sonic video games, but I'm eventually going to get her into comics.
Well, and like so with them learning to read and stuff like that, I've not that obviously books are where they want them to be, but like
Of
I don't,
course.
there's this can easily comics can easily be a stepping stone. I mean, you're still reading. There's still a lot to learn from that. So I'm trying to use that to kind of bridge the interest in reading. So
I mean, they've even got like we just got done interviewing JB Grizzly. I mean, graphic novels and things like that, I think is still a good like stepping stone and to get them into regular books. I mean, not to
I think
say
so.
like uh, I don't know why people put down the whole like, oh, if a book has pictures, it suddenly demotes it a little bit like that. Like I think there's still great books out there that have like, obviously, it's not going to be a pop-up book by any means, but a graphic novel I think would be a great start to get kids into things.
Yeah, I don't think people. Yeah, for whatever reason, there's a weird connotation with it, but like there's some phenomenal storytelling in comics, and like I think that's some like people look past it just because of the imagery for whatever reason. I mean, I
Right.
think it's better now than it ever has been, but yeah, it
Oh,
was always
absolutely.
being a kid thing or whatever.
I mean, that and on top of it, like you've got also like it can introduce kids to not only like reading but the world of art. and things like that, and can get them
Yeah.
interested in wanting to draw or to paint. Like, I was, I can say I'm not too proud of this, but for some reason, one of my things that I don't like to say it, but I somehow got an F in art class when I was in high school. and, and I almost think that's more of an accomplishment than it is a failure that I got an F in art class.
Well, yeah, I think that you'd have to go in with the goal in mind.
Well, it was the thing, like, it was, I'm not going to blame the teacher by any means, but it was like, we had some little notebook that, like, you had to draw one picture, like, every day or something like that, and then turn it in at the end of the week. And so I just sort of ran through it and I drew some pictures and I turned it into him, and he just goes, no effort. I go, art's subjective, motherfucker. How are you going to fail me for even just putting in effort? It was.
That's weird.
I still just find it hilarious that out of all the things I managed to accomplish when it came to going to school, the the one failure I had was somehow art class was the one F I
Yeah,
got going to
that's
school.
crazy to think about.
Were you a good were you a good student going into school, like, or did you mainly like keep your nose down and mainly focus on drawing, like, or did you actually get good grades going to
Uh,
school?
I think I was a good student, but like with like getting like an ADD diagnosis, so there's hurdles and stuff with there, but I mean, so like I'd get in trouble in like history class because like I'd make a bunch of, you know, I'd make connections that made sense to me, but the teacher always thought I was off subject or not paying attention. Um, like, I'm really bad about metaphoring everything. Like anything is like, oh, so it's just like that, or oversimplifying it, to understand it and things like that. So like I'd get in trouble for like doing that. Um, so like I wasn't a bad student by any means, but like I wasn't poster child either. So
That's
I'd
fair.
say probably pretty, yeah,
You're pretty middle of the road. You didn't make any
I think
waves by any
so.
means.
I didn't.
Okay. Did you have any we'll try to connect all this with wrestling, I suppose. This is a wrestling podcast. Did you have some inspirations going into, like, when you started that, did you kind of think back to watching wrestling going, I want to be this guy when I create my
Oh, for
persona?
sure. Early on, I did a lot of modeling after like Mr. Perfect and Rick Rude, so Minnesota guys. So oddly enough, which I was just up in Minnesota this last weekend.
That's the second
That
time
was
I've
like
made that connection with Rick Rude and some guy. We had Hot Rod Andy here, and again, glorious mustache, and I made the connection of Rick Rude, but he's
oh
definitely one of the
oh shit! I
greats.
didn't I didn't even think of that. You're right. You're 100% right.
He's still one of the
Um,
greats, and by all means, you can make that connection because, again, glorious mustache. So,
You did, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've got. I mean, I've got lots of gear, airbrush, things like that, trying to mimic that style, and stuff like that. So those are two guys that I imitated quite a bit early on. I mean, I was never, I never came across perfect at anything by any means, but he was a guy that I thought was phenomenal in the ring with everything he did. So he was a guy I modeled that a lot after.
you don't have to be
Uh,
perfect, you just have to convince them that you were perfect. It's all about the
yes,
facade.
that's right.
So, was there any, like, any bumps that you've taken in your time that really stick out to you? Like, I'd imagine
I
your
busted
wife
both my
remembers those.
clavicles,
You broke your both of them?
both of them. Yeah, one wasn't as bad,
That's how
and then I
bad I am at
dislocated.
biology. I didn't even realize there was
Yeah,
two clavicles.
well, each side, I suppose.
Okay.
One I had to get my shoulder arm popped back in. One of the workers, wife's or girlfriend, wife, I think, was a nurse, so she helped me with that. But she was like very like, "Hey, listen, you got to get this looked at." I'm just, but
Sure, that
wanted to
wife's
do
a
that while the
nurse.
adrenaline and everything was still high. So I had, wasn't going to be as, but like, yeah, the car that was out in like Chicago area, I think. So that was a rough car ride home.
How did it get
But I brought it
broken?
with some guys. So what's that?
How did it get broken?
Just a bad fall. I don't remember specifics. So I landed funny off. a move I'd taken a dozen times. So yeah, it was just this, there's always that risk when you get in there. And then the second one, that was busted enough that I actually had to have that surgically repaired. So there's a pin in there, had a rotator cuff tear also. I had to get that repaired. That was rough. That was a painful surgery. I don't recommend that to anyone if they can avoid it.
I'll
That was
make a
from a
note of
bad
it.
dive. Yeah, I misjudged distance and came down bad on a dive. So I don't
Wow.
really dive like I used to. So
Okay, so we'll probably not expect any high flying from you on the 21st by any means.
we'll see. I mean, I'll still get a wild hair every once in a while, but yeah.
Get a bug up your ass and go, you know what? I think I'm gonna hop up on that turnbuckle one more time.
Hey, sometimes, yeah, that crowd will do crazy things to you sometimes.
That's fair. You play off the crowd and they just they get you a little hyped up with stand up. By no means have I ever wanted a stage dive, but maybe I just haven't gotten a joke that funny just yet.
Oh yeah, give it time. It'll happen.
So then excuse me. So is wrestling like the main thing that you got like or do you do something, on the side to
Oh
help pay
no,
for the
I have
hospital bills?
I got a day job. Yeah, I'm an
Okay.
electrician.
Oh, nice. Electrician. Okay.
Yep.
How
And
long you been
recently, actually, I've been doing that since I've been doing that for about 15, 16 years, something like that.
Okay. Nice. We always respect the trades here. So, what is the tattoo here on your inner arm? I'm trying to figure out what it
Oh, so
is.
I've got a Winter Soldier
Oh,
that
damn.
I got from when I got rotator cuff repaired. So I got my son's name kind of printed in there,
Okay.
and then after my second was born, it's the inside of a Qui-Gon Jinn's lightsaber, like the inner
Oh, that
workings
is
of it. And then I got his
awesome.
name, my other son's name tattooed on there too.
Okay.
So yeah.
So is your son the Star Wars fan or you the Star Wars fan more
Uh,
so?
well, it's me, but I'm trying to influence. So
That's fair. We always try to influence it going,
yeah,
please like this,
I mean it's
please
not.
like this.
Yeah, it's not going bad. So
Well, of course, it's Star Wars. Who
yeah,
who doesn't love Star Wars?
exactly. So
You
they've got lightsabers. So
Now you're gonna let him have his own opinions on the prequels?
I don't know.
The
Yeah,
hesitation tells me
yeah,
you have
yeah.
definite opinions on it.
Well, here's the thing. Like it's like I saw a big shift with people's opinions of the prequels after the sequels came out. So we were like, nah, maybe these weren't so bad.
That's fair.
But yeah, so but yeah, of course I want them to really, you know, lock in with like the originals, but there's a good chance it'll be the pod racing and the fight scenes, things like that. Maybe it'll be Kylo Ren. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to say. So
That's fair. So what are your I know you're fighting back the urge, but this is all about it here on this podcast. I want your opinions on prequels, sequels, and things like that. Like being the Star Wars fan in your household. So what are your thoughts on those? Are
I
you
really think the originals are untouchable. I think when Lucas came back to do the prequels, I think he was a different person. Then which maybe that's just because he had kids. He was trying to make it more family friendly, more exciting, more accessible to a broader audience. But there was definitely a different approach, and there was less. Um, he clearly had an image and something he wanted to get across in 4, 5, and 6 that um, didn't seem to be there with 1, 2, and 3. I mean, there was a lot of cool shit. There was a lot of exciting stuff. I mean, the fight scenes were the best they've ever been. And with special effects, you really wanted to push it. Because I know what they did special effects wise with the originals was groundbreaking. But now they had access to all this, so they wanted to do that, have this comic relief and whatnot. But yeah, it definitely seemed like a different person did it. I think the sequels could have worked if they left 7 the way it was. Really gave the fans everything they wanted. blew the load, gave them all they wanted, right? And then told the new story with the new characters instead of relying on, and it just didn't feel like there was ever that passing of the torch. And but by the time they got to 9, it seemed like they were in a panic, didn't know what to do, so they went backwards to what worked before. I think there was potential there, but I think they really dropped the ball. Whether whoever's fault that was, which sucks because they had stories that had been written, you know, years before, decades before, that were successful, amazing Star Wars stories, in different books and different, all the legacy stuff they could have translated and tweaked and things like that. But yeah, like they could have slowly killed off the olds, which they kind of did, but
Yeah.
It was, I thought it was odd that they had a chance to not kill, because it's not really what I'm trying to say, but let Leia Organa go when Carrie Fisher passed, and they didn't.
Right.
I thought it seemed like, and then left Luke at the end, passing the torch would have been cool. But yeah, they seemed to freak out, and they quit developing everybody that wasn't Rey, and so like you didn't have your wisecracking smuggler, you didn't have your pilot, you didn't have all this. Yeah, everything was jammed into one character, and I feel like they really dropped it with it.
I feel like they
Disney
almost
Plus,
did more with like the offshoots of things. They actually
that's
put
what I
more.
say. Disney Plus has been significantly better.
Oh,
So
absolutely. And even things like uh, I don't know, you're being like Rogue One. I thoroughly enjoyed with
Rogan was amazing.
oh yeah, I loved what they did with that. It felt like they put more heart and more like effort into the offshoots than they did like the main
Oh yeah,
series of
Rogue One had
movies.
one of my favorite droids.
Oh yeah, the big tall one. God,
Yeah,
what's his name? I'm spacing on it. Always horrible
well, and
with
it's crazy.
names.
Like, was it Alan? Oh, what's his name? The dude
Alan
that
Tudyk.
voices everything.
Alan
Tunic, yeah,
Tudyk.
yeah. Of course, did the voice. They
Incredible actor.
they did. Yes. Oh my God. Like it's yeah. I thought it was really cool what they did with the monk blind dude. Like he was force sensitive without being a Jedi. So they added another level to it that they hadn't really
Right, and
um
his friend with
felt out.
the Gatling blaster and
Mhm.
all that.
Yeah, there
I
was a lot
love
of
their
uniqueness.
dynamic.
Yep.
That was awesome. Like I was worried for a second. You definitely went more heavy on the sequels, which I appreciate. I was worried that you were going to be a Jar Jar apologist.
I mean, I get
It
they were
was
trying
for yeah, it was for
the,
like
he has kids, they're trying to do the thing.
how do you feel
You know,
about the
there's
conspiracy theory that Jar Jar's a secret Sith Lord?
I enjoy it. I think anything that like people can like string out, and they've obviously taken time and double checked things to see if it could actually work. I think that's awesome that
Right.
they could do that. Likelihood probably not, but it's
Right.
still pretty neat.
It's still a
I
fun
thought it
thing
was
to
cool.
toss around.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty neat when they gave the actor that did Jar Jar, gave him the saving the Grogu thing in
Oh,
Mandalorian.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a pretty cool payoff, I thought for him. So
And another thing that you can always bring the kiddos in, there's a plethora of Star Wars books out there that
yeah,
I have not
oh
picked
yeah,
up myself. There's a couple that I really want to check out. A lot of them they've said are no longer canon, with they're still fun to read.
all the legend stuff that they've renamed it. Yeah,
There's one out there that like it's such an interesting concept, and I wish that they would make it into an actual like movie or someone would do it. I think it's part of the Legends one. It's essentially a zombie outbreak breaks out on like a star destroyer, and so it's clone troopers
that sounds
versus
amazing.
zombies. So
That
just
sounds awesome.
yeah, and it's a full outbreak on a star destroyer of them trying to fight back the undead. So you've got undead stormtroopers versus like stormtroopers trying to fight for their lives. It sounds so cool.
That does. I've done a lot of Star Wars audiobooks.
Really? Like listening or
Yeah, I
voicing?
listen to them at work. So, so like, but they spoil me because like they add production. So you get sound effects and shit like that. So if you go
Oh,
back and listen to a regular audiobook, it's not as exciting. So yeah, so I've done the Legends Thrawn series and then the Canon Thrawn series.
I got
But
way
like,
too
yeah,
excited. I thought you said you voiced some of them or did something
oh
like that.
no, no, that there's people. Some more than one person has made comments to me about trying to do audio work, but like I wouldn't know the first thing and how to venture into doing reading books, things like that.
Hey, look at me
Uh,
now. Like my camera is wonky with that, but that's all right. We'll fix it in. We won't fix it in post. But hey, I'm a amateur comedian that doesn't even know how to work his camera. But all you need is this thing. If I could get that to work, maybe. Ha! There we go. Hi, I'm a professional. God.
perfect.
But yeah, I mean, like it's just all about yeah, all you got to do is have a I don't even think you need a decent one of these and you can jump right into voicing and all that stuff. You've got so many people that do. I mean, granted it much like wrestling and comedy, voice acting is just a flooded market of people not wanting to
I
go out
believe
and
it.
do manual labor.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Not to say there's anything against if you want to do voice acting or anything like that. I'm trying to get into it, but I also drive a truck currently and have been for like over 10 years. So, you know, what pays the bills is what gets
Right.
the most attention.
Yeah, I just try not. Yeah, I yeah, try not to blow things up. I guess is my day job.
Was there ever a moment that you like really tried to just solely focus, like you thought wrestling was going to be the moneymaker and you were going to quit uh,
Um,
being an electrician, go full-time wrestler?
I mean, there were definitely periods where I was like working with a ton of names and doing tryouts with WWE and things like that. So there were a few years where like that stuff was really um high, and of course it was something I dreamed of. But as far as like picking up and going somewhere where it was probably more relevant, I don't know that I did anything more than daydream about it.
That's fair. You're
But like,
still
yeah, I've gotten tons of opportunities, quite a bit more than a lot of people are, around me in wrestling. So yeah, I'm super happy with what I've been able to do. So
it's consistent work
maybe,
and it's always appreciated when we're seeing you out on the mat, especially when you're, just getting out of bicep recovery. We definitely
yeah, I
still
mean, yeah,
appreciate you
maybe
coming to the
I just
ring.
won't use it. I don't know.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about like what's the words I'm probably like kind of just like you had guys take you under your wing, have you thought about taking guys under your wing and kind of showing them the ropes? Because I'd imagine you
Yeah,
can only take so many more
um,
bumps. Not to say you're not
right.
still in your prime, of course.
No, I appreciate it. No, but it's hard because like some people don't always take advice the best way, or it's an industry that's littered with egos, so it's really hard to like get on a genuine level with someone, whether you're just like, hey, this is something you could do different. And then, because a lot of times people just like, yeah, sure, whatever. There are some guys that are, will take the advice and will try to improve. I have had plenty of really good interactions with younger people with stuff like that. So, but it is an industry full of divas and egos, and yeah,
And now
there's
they've got
there's
the
not a,
addition of me just talking shit off to the
yeah,
sides, but still wanting
well,
to be a
yeah,
diva.
there's not enough spotlights in the building for everybody. So
That's fair. Well, you still make you do, and you've been doing it for long enough, so you're doing something right.
I try to, yeah.
Now,
I've
is it
never hurt anybody, so
you
at
haven't
least
broken any
not,
clavicles
not.
yourself?
No, I've
Good.
had. I mean, people have bleed unintentionally, things like that, but I've never been involved in any serious injury. So
Okay.
I'm happy about that. People I work with always get to walk away. So
You're safe to wrestle with, and that's really the most important thing.
yep, I think so. I mean, maybe it's I don't do enough wrist stuff. I don't know.
Eh,
Maybe I'm not flashy enough.
I think you could still get injured on, being a bruiser or things like that. You can, you know, bust an eye socket or something like that. There's definitely
I saw a guy mess up his ankle on a stomp. So
really.
like it's yep, he did the hop off the bottom rope, come down on a stomp, and yeah, he was out for I don't remember how long, but for a little bit of time.
God, I just had a moment that 100% showed my age. I had something wrong with like my windshield wiper on my truck, and I had to climb up on the hood and fix it. And then as I'm coming back down, I'm on the grill guard there, and I drop maybe 2 feet, and immediately my knees want to buckle underneath as soon as I hit the ground. I'm like, son of a bitch, I'm 32. But like I said, I've been doing.
Oh, sometimes it's just the right angle of something, you know. It's weird.
Well, I've been doing, like I said, I did construction, like laying carpet, I hung drywall, I did tile, vinyl, everything like that. My knees are completely shot. Like I have almost zero cartilage in my knee because doing carpet, like for one, you're down on your hands and knees stretching it, but also it requires basically what's called stretching it. You've got to take this pad that has like a bunch of nails and things like that and stick it
Oh,
in,
I do know what you're talking
and on
about.
the other
Yep.
side there's a pad, and you got just got to slam your knee into it just to stretch
I've
out the
seen that.
carpet, and that will mess you up. And I was, of course, one of those kids that thought he was invincible, like everybody does, and was like, I don't need knee pads. Everything's fine. I'll have good knees forever. And now I'm nearly buckling to the floor on a 2 foot drop.
Oh yeah. It's God, yeah, the human body's crazy. It's weird.
That's why you always got to take care of it. That's a lesson to you kids out there. Take care of your body, because you could be 30 something, and while you might have a glorious mustache or something like I got, you got to take care of your body and your hair. Everything like that. I got to say hair because my wife is also a stylist, so if I lost my
Oh,
hair,
yeah,
she would
yeah,
cry.
yeah.
She'd figure something out for sure to still mess with it, but I would imagine the second I lose my hair, she's going to throw a fit.
Oh yeah, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
All right, we've got just a couple more minutes with you here, Ryan. Do you have anything you want to, specifically like have people get eyes on? Like, do you have social media? You want some upcoming shows you want people to look at?
So I got, which maybe it's because I'm old. I don't know. I got the Facebook and Instagram. Ryan Slade on there as far as like the specific number combination, all that. I don't have that off the top of my head, but pretty fairly easy to find. It should be a picture of my mug right there on it. I've got been doing shows for Paradise City Wrestling up in Minnesota, which is phenomenal find. It's an amazing company. Really good guys up there. Social, I love being with them as early as they are in their career because I really think they're going to do some exciting stuff. So I'm really looking forward to being a part of that. I'm going out to Ohio for Buckeye Championship Wrestling out there, which I'm looking forward to. That's how I'm spending my Valentine's Day. Um,
Nice.
out
That'll
there. So yeah. So yep. And then
Is the
my
missus
alma
coming with you
mater.
on that show?
No, well, no. It's I'm spending my Valentine's Day with a giant man. So
Hey, sometimes that's what people are wishing for.
yeah, yes. So yeah. So
Sorry to interrupt.
getting it.
By all
No,
means, hit the
no,
other
no,
ones,
no. You're
Ryan.
good. And then my alma mater, 3X Wrestling out of Des Moines. They still will run shows periodically, and I like to get involved with those guys. So Impact's another big one in the state of Iowa. They're getting ready to do an anniversary show, I believe out of Waterloo. So that should be really big, really exciting for those guys. But yeah, doing a lot of stuff, doing a lot of stuff for social, doing some stuff for Paradise City, and then spotting here and there when I can. As long until the kids get too caught up in their own sports and athletics and things like that, and that'll time me up. So
What are the
have
sports
coached a
that the
little bit
kiddos
of
are hitting?
soccer. Yeah, so yeah, but I'm not gonna do it forever anyway. So yeah,
Are they
I'm
hitting like basketball, or what's their forte?
So far it's a lot of soccer. I got one that's interested in doing some ice skating, things like that. So I might see
Okay.
where that goes, and then the wrestling thing. So,
Right.
yeah. So we'll see. I've done a little bit of coaching, so which is like herding cats. That
Yeah.
it really is. It's nuts. There's no rhyme or reason to it at that age.
Oh, yeah, I know it. My girls are softball, basketball, and uh oh God, I know there's one more and I'm gonna get my ass kicked for forgetting it. Uh Softball, basketball, and I'll figure it out later. But those are the big two that they're into, and Lord, just trying to get them to pay attention. Like, not only does my oldest daughter have ADHD, but like just trying to get her into doing that is like when she's focused and she's great. But like, oh yeah, you're right. It's like herding cats. It's a wonderful
Oh
thing to
yeah.
watch the spark in their eyes when they, are doing well, but to keep them focused on that is another story.
Oh yeah. It's got its ups and downs, but yeah, the rewards they're fucking awesome. So
Yeah, for sure. All right, Ryan, I appreciate your time greatly.
yeah,
Uh, I
anytime.
I think that is all the time we got. I hear your kids in the background hollering for you, and I don't want to get you in too much trouble by making your
Oh,
missus
that's okay.
handle them
I think
alone.
they just got into gotten some candy, so
Oh,
that
fun.
should be fun.
Looks like it's time to practice the wrestling moves.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to wear them out.
All right,
Exactly.
Ryan. I will let you have fun with that and get yourself warmed up for February 21st when we see you.
I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait. I'll see
Absolutely.
you on the 21st.
Thank you so much, Ryan. Have a good night, man.
You too. I'll see you.
That is going to do it for this State of X podcast. I want to thank my guests, JB Grizzly and Ryan Slade, for just taking the time and sitting down and talking with me. Be sure to go ahead and follow them on all their social medias. And just thank you for watching this, If you want to hit the like button, it would be appreciated. If you want to press the subscribe button, that way you know exactly when we put out these videos once a month for now. And just have a good night, I love you.